you can change minds. And he told him that, that's Reverend, he told the boy that the vision is right, what you want to become is good, but the purpose for which you want to become that may not be realized. So he said, if it's about mind changing, then you should focus on becoming what could give you the platform to change people's minds. Because if you become a psychologist, probably you could meet one-on-one, one person per time, but if you become an influencer, you can change minds and transform the minds of people the way you want it to be. And since then, that response he gave to that child changed my mind also and made me to see from a different angle. And since then, my respect for Reverend has skyrocketed. So let's clap for Reverend one more time. In the last speaker's speech, he made mention of mentorship. And one thing that he said, which actually I loved so much, was that when we meet mentors, we should stop asking for things, but demonstrate our relevance. I'm very happy when I see young people gather. If it's one or two gathered just to accumulate knowledge, it is very important. Because knowledge has the potential to transform you. If I give you money today, you would finish it tomorrow. But if I give you information, that is going to live with you forever and even transform your life. Some of us are embodiments of knowledge and experiences. We didn't have the support that many people have. But information, seeking knowledge and skills is what is sustaining us till today. So for you being here today to learn from the Next Level Conference or the Next Level Africa Conference, I want you to clap for yourself for taking this step to get here and then to learn from experience. And trust me, some of you, your life will never be the same before leaving this place. Amen. I was also I'm a church boy, not was. I'm a church boy also. I'm a pianist in my church. I've been MDing in my church since 2009 till date. So I attend Winners Chapel International, those of you who know me very well. And I'm the senior keyboardist over there. And I've not relented in my effort to serve God with my whole heart. And there is blessing in serving God, trust me. There is blessing in serving God. If you can give your life to Christ and if you can serve God with all your heart, God will always place in your heart something that will transform you. And not just you and your surrounding, but He would give you a vision that can transcend generations. And that is where our heart needs to be. We need to serve God with purpose. We need to serve God expectantly. Let's expect God to do something for us. And let's keep serving because we don't know when our good news would come. So I'm a testament to serving God, and everything that I've done so far, I've impacted so many lives, right from school. I've taught so many people, hundreds of people, thousands of people have benefited from my experience and my skill set. And I keep doing that day in, day out. So serve God and don't follow the crowd, but follow God. Follow Jesus Christ. Amen. My speech today is a very simple one. I'm here to talk to you about technology, all right? Technology. In the last speaker's speech, he also spoke extensively about you acquiring some tech skills that could transform your life. But you would all agree with me that not all of you may pursue tech skills as a profession, right? Not everybody would become a cybersecurity specialist. Not everybody would become a programmer. Not everybody would become an engineer. But whatever it is that you are doing, you need to begin to understand what is happening globally. There is so much polarity in the system where being in the middle is no more safe for you. That is why you could see so many graduates finishing school and having nothing to do. Not because they are not educated, but we are obsessed with skills that can easily be taken away from us. So it's either we focus on the low-level skills or the high-level skills. So if you are in between, like the last speaker said, if you are working in a factory, all the manual works we do in the factory are being taken by PLCs, that is programmable logical control systems. So the program systems that can do the same thing over and over and again and doesn't get tired. So if your skill is a skill that can easily be replaced, then you need to start thinking twice of what else you could do that could make you more relevant. Research has shown that by 2050, Africa's workforce is going to be the youngest globally. And this could be an advantage for Africa or be a threat to the continent. Because if we have so many young people who can't do anything, then they'll find something to do. And that is where the threat comes in. It's a national security issue. So if you're a young person in this room here, you must begin to understand where you are, where we are coming from, and where we are going to. The word technology came from the Greek word techni, okay, which means art or craft. And then the knology, which comes from the Greek word logia, which means to study. So technology has transformed over the period, okay, since the first industrial revolution down to the fourth. So from 2010 upwards, we started experiencing the fourth industrial revolution. The first revolution happened, that was when we had the barter trade system. So families spend most of their time on the farms. They farm to feed themselves and their families. So if I need something from you, I'll give you what I have, which you don't have. So we exchange per what we have. And that was when the wheel systems came in, electricity was invented, and industrialization set in, right? So now people have to work in factories, and because of that, labor unions started springing up because people have to work longer hours, and they expect to be paid for the number of hours and the kind of work that they are doing. So that's how the whole thing started. So along the way, there was somebody who was probably riding horses from one place to another. Then Henry Ford and Co. decided to invent the motor ride. So whilst they were still polishing their horses, buffing their horses, somebody was busy inventing a motor. Pull it a little bit and you arrive at a destination. So the one who was busy taking care of the horses went out of business. Right? So technology will not inform you of the change that is coming. It will just come. That is why you realize that whilst you are in school studying, what you are studying has already become obsolete before you complete. Because the guy who is developing the platforms which you are going to use is not in your classroom. And whatever he's developing, he just wants to make money or to bring change. But our education curriculum system has not been developed to quickly adapt to the changes that are happening globally. So you would go through the system, all right, get educated, at least you should be able to read and write and be able to reason. But then, to become useful becomes a personal responsibility. And we need to differentiate between going to school and getting educated. That is why the one who has not gone to school can get himself educated. And there are so many people who are going to school today who are not getting educated. So we just go through school. I want to get a first degree. I want to get a master's. You finish, your CV is so long, but practically, you have nothing to offer. And it will surprise you to know these days that people are looking for who can get the job done. Most of the works I have done, I build websites, I do graphic design, I do so many things. I code and stuff like that. And you will hardly hear anybody asking you for your CV. They will ask you for your portfolio. What have you done? Show it to us. Just yesterday, I had to send someone a list of works I have done to prove my competence, right? So competence is built through practical engagement. Knowledge is built through listening, hearing, watching. But if you want to be practically oriented or skillful, you need to get your hands dirty. You must work, and you must be consistent at working with your hands. Because I do music, and I even teach music not because of the profit, but kids can develop their cognitive abilities when they learn to do music, because music has the power to transform and build the mind faster than even games, right? So there was this boy that was brought to me some few months ago. I trained him on how to play the piano, how to sight read. So the dad said he was brought from Abutia, he was in the village with the mom. So he couldn't cope with the city life, in Ho, went to Kabori, and he's not able to cope. So the dad brought him, and I said, you know what, allow the boy to grow. Let me teach him the piano for some time. So I taught him the piano, how to imagine, how to store information in the mind and reproduce it with the hand, right? So I taught him for about 3-4 months, and the dad came back saying that the teachers were asking him on campus, what is happening to him? It's like he's changing. I had 2 girls that I teach how to play the piano also. They are unable to focus on one thing for long. But when they started learning piano, they started learning how to stay focused and spend more time to learn and to be able to appreciate the results of what they are learning, right? So skills acquisition and knowledge acquisition, they are 2 different things, even though they are together. You know, you practice, and then you can do, all right? So now that we are moving into an era of industrialization, we need to know that it is becoming more cognitive and practical. It's no more just theoretical. All right? Even myself standing here, all those who work for me, if you come telling me what you know, it doesn't prove anything to me. But if you can come and show me and tell me what you can do with your hands, I would want to try you to see what you can actually do with your hands that can profit my business for me. Are you getting it? So if there's one thing that you have to leave this place with, 2025 should be a year where you can identify 2, 3, 4 skills you want to acquire, especially in the tech space, and master it very well. Mind you, skill acquisition takes time. It's not a day or two event. It takes time, okay, to build. So if you start and stop, you will never get there. You must start and continue forever. Amen. So technology has affected so many parts of our lives when it comes to communication and connectivity, all right? It brought globalization. So you can be here right now and travel to China. You can travel to Dubai. Like yesterday, I was in the US when Trump said he wants to invest about $500 billion into AI. But I went to the US on my phone. Last, I went to Dubai to learn about what was the name? The Emirates, how the Emirates run their system, read about the whole thing. So I felt I was in Dubai. You could experience things from home. So the devices in our hands have made us travel the world, but we feel because we've not entered the aeroplane and went to China or Dubai or the US, we are not there. But what somebody would spend money, hours, time to go and know, you can be here right now and know it. So in the abundance of information, we are now lacking. So much information around, but we still seem to not know anything because it is so available. That is why if I want to imprison you, all I'll do is to give you everything that you need, and you will not be able to think again. So it's in the midst of scarcity that inventions come. When there is nothing, you start thinking of how to create something. So if you don't create that space of scarcity around you, then you are in your comfort zone, thinking you are doing something. Sometimes you need to push yourself to a certain state where your mind begins to think and act creatively. Assuming we are all here, you think you are sick, right? You can't run, right? Let's hear that this building is falling apart. And you'd see that there is something in you that would get ignited. You can run and even jump this place and still keep running until tomorrow morning before you realize that you had gotten hurt. All right? So you must be able to set yourself up for success. So globalization has taken place. Information access, like I said, you can be here right now and get every information that you need. And that has brought about so many things in the social space, right? For instance, you realize that our sense of choice is now being influenced, right, by technology. So we are not able to make decisions by ourselves anymore. So it's a matter of time we would have trained our minds to be shallow because everything is being done for you on your phone. So to choose a life partner, now you can go to dating apps and just choose a partner instead of spending time praying and then, And I'm saying these things because it's not just the good part that we have to look at. You need to have a holistic view of this thing we call technology so that when you are championing the cause, when you are jumping into it, you know what you are jumping into. If you travel to a place you don't know, it's likely you can get yourself hurt. Am I lying or I'm saying the truth? That is why before you go somewhere, you need someone who knows the place very well to take you there. So whilst you are jumping on the tools and stuff like that, programs like this should help you to know what you are actually doing so that you don't end up destroying yourself. Right now, if I go to Google and I type your name, what would I see? How many of you here are on LinkedIn? Some of us are busy building CVs on paper. Meanwhile, LinkedIn is there. That can become your digital footprint that anybody in the world can just look at and then call you and give you contracts or employ you. But many of us don't know. And that is because here in Africa, we've been introduced to technology from the base of entertainment, not productivity. So many of us know how to entertain ourselves with our phones and our computers, but we don't know how to use it to make money. Some of us have phones that can buy land, right? We have phones that can buy land. And some of us don't look like we need help because our phone alone is too expensive. It's even more expensive than the one we've gone to ask for help. So when he sees your phone, he feels like you're just in to dupe him, right? So the phones we are having are very expensive because of how smart they are. It's wealth and money that we hold in our hands. So you can be in Ho here and make global impact. Just yesterday, when Mahama came to town, I was going for a meeting. Then I met a colleague of mine who I completed HTU with. So he asked me, Desmond, you are in Ho? Really? So all these years you are in Ho, and you are doing all these things? Really? I thought you were in Accra. I said, oh, no, me, I'm in Ho. He was amazed to see the impact of our work right from a small office opposite Winners Chapel, right? And last, I was telling my students that the phone that I purchased, I had made the money like times 10 already from the phone that I purchased. The phone cost me around 3,000. But sometimes one contract that you can handle, which is just a side contract, can pay you times 2 of that money, right? So the money we need is in our pocket. The money we need is in our hands. We just need to learn how to take advantage of it, and we will see the profit thereof. So we have communication and connectivity. Number 2, we have work and economy. So technology is affecting work and our economy, okay? Work and economy. And what do I mean by work and economy? We have 1, automation. Automation. So many things are being automated now, all right? So many things are being automated now. With the advent of ChatGPT and other AI platforms, right? Even there's one very powerful one that is competing with ChatGPT. That's DeepSeek. DeepSeek from China. Okay? Competing heavily. And the use cases are spiking with DeepSeek overshadowing that of ChatGPT. And all these tools can automate so many things for you. So if you are in school today, for instance, studying secretaryship, and you are still using typewriter, you should know by now that you are not in the system. All right? You should know by now that what you are studying is not going to be relevant. So you must find other ways to make what you are learning become useful. Now, before you know it, you can just take your phone and speak to the phone. You don't even need to talk to anybody. Hello, Siri, can you schedule this for me at this time? And that is what somebody's in school studying, how to keep someone's schedule. Meanwhile, our phones are doing that for us. Remind me 30 minutes to time, or 1 hour to time, 30 minutes, 5 minutes, and on time. And, in case I'm late, 5 minutes extra, So the phone is right with you, doing everything, all right? Now, data analytics that we have to learn, even you can just give data to AI, and the AI will just do everything for you, give you your chart and everything, So the question right now is, what must you learn? If you go to HT right now, you go to marketing department, you see over 100, 200 students. In fact, they go in batches, right? Batches. And this marketing they are studying is traditional marketing if they've not changed the curriculum by now. But somebody in their room can learn digital marketing on the phone and become more useful to a company than you who is spending 4 years in the university studying marketing. Are you getting it? So even if you are studying marketing in the university, you must go back and study the trend and see what you can do with the skill you have if you attach technology to it and see how you can diversify your knowledge. You don't stick to one thing, right? And one thing that I'll say to us here is this. You must also be very conscious of your environment, okay? There is so much happening out there. I've lived in Nigeria, I've lived in Accra, I've lived in Kumasi, and I chose to come back to Ho, to come and establish my business and my NGO here. It was intentional. So you hear people saying that, Desmond, what you have is too good to be used here. People here don't appreciate what you have and what you are given. I said, I understand. I know. It's a sacrifice. If you don't sacrifice today, then what do you expect tomorrow, right? So don't be deceived. You can be in Ho where there is less activity, but it doesn't mean there is no preparation going on. Okay? Last I read something. When the fisherman doesn't go to fish, he's mending his net. So that when it is time to fish, he's prepared to go and fish. So the fact that you are in an environment that is very peaceful means that you have enough time and enough comfort and peace of mind to learn and be practically good. Some of us are waiting to go to Accra or travel to the UK before we can start learning, when we should be going there with some competence to go and show them what you have. But we are wasting so much time so we can get there before we start. And how long will that take you? Okay, so remote working. So now you can be in the house and start working remotely. So you realize that the digital skills we are talking about here are in two folds. We have digital skills as a career and as a lifestyle or for life. So there are digital competencies that you need that applies across all industries. And there are some that you can pursue and build a career out of it. So if we want to we want to cause global effect or global change on the platform of the next level African conference, you must understand that one of the platforms which is available to you is the platform of technology. Are we getting it? It's the platform of technology. So what do you do? Even if you are selling in the market, what skills do I need to make this business of mine successful and go beyond just my surrounding? Are we getting it? Then we have entered an economy called the gig economy. Okay? The gig economy, where companies are now trying to outsource their works or they contract people to do the job for them. So instead of taking you in and paying you continuously, we would prefer to pay you one off, you do the work, and then that's the end of the deal. You get it? And there are people who are making tons of money from that aspect too. All right? I know people who just do data analytics. And the good thing about these tech skills is that you don't even need to be in that field. You can be a teacher and be a data analyst. You can be a teacher and be a software developer, right? These are skills that are required globally. So you don't need to be called an IT specialist. In fact, those who find themselves in careers, let's say education, medicine, law, if you attach technical skills to what you do, you are more advantaged than even those who went to study computer science and engineering, from scratch, because you have a skill that technology can automate. Are you getting it? So I have a friend who is a teacher. When he was in training college, he was studying how to code and build mobile applications. So when he finished, he realized that teachers find it very difficult to write exams, like, those their examinations they write. So what he did was he built a mobile application that he uses to help them learn. So they put questions there, you solve it and prepare for the exam. So he's a teacher. He knows the gravity of the problems they are facing as teachers. So the platform he built hosted about 100,000 teachers. Do you understand? If you're a medical practitioner, there is a medical practitioner who would provide for other practitioners and make more money than those who are practicing. That is why if you want to build software, for instance, as an IT personnel, I need somebody who is in that field to be on the team before we can do something that will be accepted. Because what's my knowledge base in medicine that I'll build solutions for doctors to use or for the medical field? No. So if you are in a career path already, you are even more placed to even be more effective when you attach some of these skills to what you already have. So the gig economy is thriving, even though it's not very secured. Okay? So if you don't build enough social capital and have connections, and if you don't have the contracts coming in very, very fast, that is when you feel that you are not making money. But trust me, somebody who works an hour or two a day or 2 or 3 days and makes, let's say, 3,000 Ghana cedis, compared to somebody who works from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. for about 25 days in a month and is paid, let's say, 4,000. Who do you think made more money? If you divide it by 24 hours or even 12 hours, you'd realize that the one who worked for just 2 or 3 days made so much money. Just that when the money starts coming like that, we are not prepared to manage it. So we don't have financial literacy skills to know how to manage money when it comes, right? So that's another area that I think we have to include in the next conference, financial literacy. That is why if I give you 100 cedis right now, you'll be shocked. You'll finish it. We just spend money, and we keep complaining that we don't have money. I remembered when I was working, I was recommended for a work after school, and I raised 250 Ghana cedis. So that 250 Ghana cedis that I had, I took it to Accra, and I registered my first company. Then came back to home, and I was praying to God. God opened doors for me, because I understood that I have to do some work for God to bless. So whilst I'm in the house of God working, I must create a channel through which God can bless me, right? So I went to register a business, came back, and I was still in the house of God, sweeping, doing all manner of things, teaching music, and a friend approached me and said, Desmond, what are you doing? I said, oh, I have a company, but I don't have an office space. Then he said, oh, I have a space that I can give to you for free. So I joined him in the office, worked with him for some time. Then I traded my skill for rent, So I didn't have the money to pay for rent, so I built a website for the company, and I used the company's space. So apparently they're owing me now, because how much I charge for my work is more than how much I should pay for, you understand what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, I had to start my own company outside that place, and I'm now on my own since 2019, all right? So we are now in a gig economy, an economy that allows you to function freely without any restriction. You can be in the house remotely and work on so many other things and make money from there. We have daily life and convenience, all right? So smart living, you can be here and control so many things at home and all manner of stuff. So there are skills areas in those places too, which are coming, right? And you have to try and then take advantage of it. We have culture and identity. Culture. So we realize that now most of the Gen Zs don't even have any affiliation with their culture anymore. And that is because we have failed to push our culture to technology platforms. So we allow technology to influence us. So those who have developed the platforms have pushed their culture on us. And because we feed on these platforms 24/7, we are unable to find ourselves, we are unable to identify ourselves with our culture again, right? So these are some of the down parts of technology that we have to deal with. So if you are here, you want to go onto the online platforms or build technology solutions, these are some of the challenges you can work on to resolve, all right? We have environment and sustainability, okay? Environment and sustainability. So technology has optimized our energy sources, at the same time destroying some of them, okay? So if you intend to build solutions that can scale, make sure you are sustainability minded. So you don't destroy the environment, okay, for profit. And your children will come back tomorrow to blame you for, all right? So let's be minded about our environment. Then cognition and behavior. Cognition and behavior. And under that, I have attention economy, all right? Attention and economy. Over here, we have our focus shifting to social media platforms. And engagement is now being prioritized over authenticity, okay? And this one is very important. The manner in which information gets to you shouldn't be your focus. What is getting to you should be your focus. I can stand here and put up a lot of acts to entice you to listen to me. And that can cause you to take my information and work with it. But that information might not be accurate. It might be false. That is why, if you go to TikTok today, we have just anybody, okay, creating content. And because you like the way she's talking and the way she's doing her body and the way she's doing everything, you consume that information. You call her your role model. And there is somebody who has a lot of information, quality one to share with you, but because he or she is not in that kind of like enticing mood, you are unable to decipher between the good and the bad. And mind you, our mind is made up of information. You become what you consume over a period of time, okay? So if you're not very careful to distinguish between good content and bad content, over a period of time, you realize that you are made up of bad content. And if what you've consumed over a period is resident in your mind, that is going to affect your decision-making abilities and the choices you would make. Because every choice you make is from the set of information you have at the back of your mind. That is why before you get into some positions, they expect you to go through some kind of training because they need your mind to feed on some kind of information that would influence your decision-making, right? So before you can work in Apple, Google, Microsoft, they take you through courses because there's a way they think and do things, and they must make sure they dump those information into your memory. So the question is, what are you consuming? If you are not very choosy about the things you consume, they would influence you So you realize that there's so much anarchy in the system, so much depression in the system, so much distrust in the system because of the content that we are consuming. So as young people, let's be very careful the kind of information we consume. So look out for quality channels, quality information channels that you can follow. And be resolute in mind that you are not following the enthusiasm, you are not following the vibrance around the information. You are actually all right, so you must find channels that would support your learning and help you to become better. All right? So the paradox here is that technology is two-sided. It is not good, it is not bad, it is not indifferent. So the one who holds it, who uses its power, is the one who will decide what to do with it. So as you are here right now, you hold the power in your hand. What you want to do with it is, are you following? So what do you want to do and achieve with technology? It's in your hand. You must make that happen. Now, there are several digital skills that we can pursue, okay, as young people and make ourselves relevant and cause the transformation that we want, all right? So if you look at the trend, you'd realize that AI is coming up strongly. AI is coming up strongly. So one area that you should focus on is artificial intelligence. Okay? Artificial intelligence. That is one key area that you should focus on. And to learn AI and master AI, you must learn how to code. Okay? Learn coding. And to learn coding, you can start with a language called Python. It's quite easy to learn. So you can learn Python. And with Python, there are libraries that you can learn how to use that can support your learning, helping you to take data, model the data, and then use that data to do predictive analysis, okay? So all the AI platforms are just predicting what is next. So if I type boy, what is next? Are you getting it? That is why even when the AI gives you information, they are asking you to check the authenticity of that information because the AI is just predicting, okay? But then the AI has been ingrained into so many things, banking, healthcare, and other places. So if you can focus on learning how to build AI tools, that will be very, very helpful to you. So I've spoken about programming already. Learn to program, all right? Because we are now interacting so much with technology, it is important you at least have the basis of programming. It doesn't matter who you are and what you do. Learn how to speak the language of programming, all right? So go and learn coding. At least start with HTML, CSS to model simple web pages, all right? Then move to, let's say, PHP or Python to learn how to make decisions with a language, okay? Because some of you, very soon, you go to work and you must even code with Excel to be able to bring out certain results, okay? So learn that very well. Then one other area that we should also focus on is data analytics or data science. Data analytics or data science. And this area too is fetching because we are now living in a data economy. Everything is data. Everything is now data. So everybody in this room, for this one, it's not a choice for you. You must go and learn something about data analytics. To do that, you can start with Excel, all right? Learn Excel. Then from Excel, learn how to do more complicated Excel stuff like Power BI, okay? Power Query, pivot tables. Those things would help you to be able to take a large set of data and make sense out of it, all right? And companies are paying huge for some of these things. Being able to tell story with data so it makes meaning and makes sense to anybody who interacts with it. You can also learn database management, all right, like SQL, okay, SQL, Tableau, okay. Learn how to use these tools very efficiently and effectively. When you start off, it may seem a bit challenging, but don't give up. Just keep practicing. And one way you can do this is to make sure that you pay something small to start from a guided coaching platform where somebody can hold your hand and take you through so you don't spend too much time confused. Start from somewhere. Find somebody or a school where they can teach you, and then you can take off from that place. We also have cloud computing and DevOps. Okay, cloud computing and DevOps. And what I'm saying are skills you can acquire and have in your portfolio, and you can equally have them as a career, okay? And all these skills would make you more lucrative, all right? It will make you more lucrative. So you don't just come with just a single skill, but you must be able to demonstrate some tech abilities and tech competencies. We also have cybersecurity. Cybersecurity is important. Since we are in digital space, security is important, so we have to learn about that as well. We have blockchain development. Blockchain development. Now you can take money and put in your pocket, put in your Momo, but now money is now moving into a decentralized space. So very soon you'll be spending blockchain like what's the name? Cryptocurrency. And all these things are being built on blockchain. I've done a program in the US, and my certificate is a blockchain certificate. So you can't steal it. It's there. You can't get missing. Are you getting it? So it's owned by almost everybody. So nobody can actually take it and hide it for me. And why you may not be able to jump onto the cryptocurrency platform is because you don't know about it. So you must make time to go and learn about cryptocurrency and then blockchain. We have UI, UX development. UI, UX development, tools like Figma, Adobe XD, Sketch, and so on and so forth. You can sit and learn a bit about of these things as well. We have digital marketing. Digital marketing. So now that we have a lot of businesses around, personal branding is there. Learn how to market digitally. Everybody in this room wants to make money. You can be in your room and make money. I saw a video of a Nigerian woman who is selling red oil, using TikTok, and she's making millions, okay? Millions. Everybody's on their phone. So once you can get into their eyesight, they can make a decision to buy from you or not. So digital marketing is very key, and if you can obtain the skills in that area too, it will be very, very good. Then we have automation and robotics. You can push yourself in that area for the young people especially. We have web development or full stack software development, all right? This one is more of the career. So if you want to build solutions that can solve real-world problems, you can go into software development. So we have the UI, UX development. That is the front end. We have the back end development. So you can choose to be at the front end or build the back end of solutions. Or you can choose to build both the back and then the front. And that makes you a full stack developer. Are you getting it? You take your phones, you click on a button, it makes a call. That's the UI. The button you've clicked on is the interface. People sit, do research, and they design these things. You can do that as a freelance job or as a career. Then those who actually write the code behind the buttons to work are the ones who do the back end. So when you know how to code and build the UI and the UX, you are a full stack developer. Then lastly, since we are in the tech space, there is so much focus on other skills that must accompany your tech skills, all right? Other skills that must accompany your tech skills. Number one is critical thinking and problem solving. Critical thinking and problem solving. So you must hone your skills in these areas. Okay, we have adaptability and lifelong learning. Adaptability and lifelong learning. I have a brother who works with Haptel. He said, just as they employ, they sack. Because people come with the skills, but they can't solve any problem. So you must learn how to solve problems. You start from the house, find a problem, solve it, and transition to bigger stuff. We have communication and storytelling. You must be able to communicate effectively. It's very, very key now than ever. So if you don't like talking, please start practicing it. It's very, very important for you. We have collaboration and emotional intelligence. Collaboration and emotional intelligence. This skill set is also very, very important. Then we have ethical judgment and cybersecurity awareness. Cybersecurity awareness. Mind you, it doesn't matter how complicated the system is secured. You, the one who is using it, is the vulnerability in the system. So you must be able to demonstrate your stand and be able to demonstrate how good you are with basic cybersecurity knowledge. Is very, very important for institutions you want to work with. Then data literacy. Data literacy, time management, and then knowledge sharing. All these are very key things that you need to do. Then most importantly today, one thing that you can learn that can affect all aspects of your life is prompt engineering. Okay, AI prompt engineering. How do you query AI platforms to give you what you are looking for? It's now a skill you must obtain for your personal use and even for your work and for anything else that you want to do. So the AI platforms are there, but how well you are able to prompt the AI would determine the quality of response that you would receive at the end of the day. So learn how to put your questions in context. Like, for instance, if act like an editor of a magazine and write a story for me that seeks to demonstrate this and achieve this result. For example, are you getting it? So if you're able to prompt the AI properly, it can give you a lot of information that is quality, and also learn how to, verify the information that you have. So there are so many AI platforms. Copilot is there, ChatGPT is there, DeepSeek is there, and a lot more. Learn about all of them, know their strengths and their weaknesses. So most of the time, you don't use one AI platform to learn and to find information. You must know who to go to for whatever it is that you are looking for. So this and many more I have. My content is plenty, but when you come to school, I'll teach you everything that you need to know. And before I leave, go and learn about personal branding. Okay, personal branding. Personal branding has become the thing for today, all right? So work on yourself, get a voice, okay? Work and get a voice. Today, we want to hear a voice. People have gotten jobs that you are qualified for, but they have the voice, so they have the job. So whoever you are, especially if you are very young in school, learn how to build a very good, clean digital footprint that can support your progress in future. Thank you so much for your audience. God bless you.
Wow. There's so much information that has been delivered in the last 2-3 hours. If you are a parent, some of the things he said will guide you to direct your kids in terms of the skills they should be learning now. So much has been said already. Now we'll take this. What was going to happen? We'll take questions. The first 3 speakers, the things they said. We'll take questions. Then we'll go on a 15 minutes break just to stretch ourselves, and then we'll come back and finish. We're scheduled to close at 4, but I'm pushing so that by 2:30 we can close. And so we'll close way before the 4 p.m. So we'll take questions now for the first 3 speakers. We want to take questions. Any please, the English people, is it questions or questions? Questions. Depends on where you come from. All right.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
So all the speakers have spoken about using tech in the modern world, but none of them have platforms that we can use. Maybe I can't come to your school, but I have the time to do it online. I have the time to do it online whilst I'm also doing something. What are the platforms that we can use? I know of ALX, but what other means can we use?
Somebody who wants to learn by themselves, doesn't have the time to go to school, but wants to use an online platform. Who goes first? You, okay.
All right, so that's a good question. Do you know how to use any AI platform? Okay, how many of you here actually can use an AI platform? Let me see by hands. If you can use an AI platform. Or you can use Google, at least. Google. If you can use Google, let me see. The answer I would give you is one that will help you to identify so many of them, all right? So go to Google and then type in where to learn ABCD skills for free. If you don't have money to pay, they recommend so many of them for you, all right? So even on Google itself, there is so much to learn over there. So if I give you a particular platform, I may limit you to just those platforms. But go to Google and look for reviews, all right? What are people saying? What are the best platforms to learn tech skills? And read people's reviews. Some of these reviews will help you to decide which one to go in for. If you go for a platform that at least the first 10 reviews are negative, then you know that they all went there and they couldn't find anything useful. But if the first 10, 20 reviews are very strong and positive, then it gives you the confidence to. So I don't know the skills you would want to go and learn, and I can't recommend tech platforms only. So it depends on what you want to learn. YouTube too is also there. Look for reviews and then.
But I wish you can give us an example of, for example, when it comes to this particular skill, this platform is good. Just 3 examples and then.
All right, so for instance, if you want to learn coding, and we have YouTube, okay, YouTube. You can attend MIT for free by going for their lectures online. So look for OpenCourseWare, MIT OpenCourseWare, and you will find a lot of courses that they have taught in the MIT University for free. All you need to do is to sit and spend the hours. We have EDX. EDX is there. Coursera is there. Yeah, a number of them. So yeah, that is MIT OpenCourseWare. It has a lot of resources there for you.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. He wants to add to it. Yeah.
So, for instance, when I wanted to learn how to I went to Google, like he said first. Then I typed. So I had about 4 softwares: OBS, vMix, then Switcher Studio. So I looked at all of them and I realized that the Switcher Studio had an advantage because I can move it everywhere. And my line of work, I need to move it everywhere. When I'm using vMix, I have to use this, a whole lot of cabling and all those things. So when I got the software, then I went to YouTube. Then I went to type in how to learn this for beginners. Like he said, knowing how to put in the question is very important. So for beginners, so I got a page and I followed all. The challenges we have is that when you start and you follow the first course, second course, then it's like third course, you are tired. You don't follow, but you make sure that you follow to the end. That's how I mastered streaming in all this platform. But I chose Switcher Studio because of my movement. Yeah.
Okay. Right. So.
Then to add to that also, when you go to YouTube, for instance, you want to learn, some of the lessons can be 8 hours, some 6 hours, some 3 hours. And you can't spend such a number of hours just to get to know what is. So learn how to tweak the settings on YouTube. So you can ask YouTube to give you videos that are within less than 30 minutes. People are able to make the videos like sort of put everything together for you in less than an hour, okay, or less than 30 minutes. So you can watch the short video and understand what the whole thing is about. Then it will make sense for you to now pursue the long hours videos and get the most out of it.
Okay, thank you. So this is a tech question, but it's not only tech they spoke about. There were questions on talent. There was a presentation on talent. There was a presentation on mentorship. So I'm expecting questions about those areas as well. Yes.
Okay. Well, I'm privy to only the just ended presentation. I'll go and also add something on mentorship video. I was not here.
Okay.
Well, so you necessarily have to meet your mentor in person, or you go around him, his work, his deliveries, and just say that this is my mentor. What actually goes into mentoring?
Okay.
Okay, so that's to the mentorship presenter. I want to ask on the tech also.
Yes.
All right, so I'm aspiring to go for further studies. What I teach in my school, nobody's immediately there. I want to secure the place. How can I use tech skill to actually produce my lesson, to give that touch of even in person, not there, that I can go for my my training within a year and come back and still delivering. So I want to start demonstrating to assure them that even though I'm living, but I could, through technology, present the skills that I have to the benefit of my students. What kind of platform should I build to help me do that? Thank you.
Anybody else has a question for the first 3 presentations? So we take all of them at once. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, and 4. So please take note of the questions that so I want to take all the questions and then answers will come at once. Yes, please.
Okay, I don't know. I have about 3 questions. I don't know if I'm allowed to answer them.
Go ahead.
All right. The first one is about discovering your purpose. The facilitator told us that we are all born with our purpose. We shared from a journey from 1 to A to B, how he was in a kiosk to a church and then traveling all over the world. At what stage does he realize his God-given purpose or his God-given calling or his God-given purpose? And then to find out if indeed what he's doing, he is convinced that, or indeed, God called me to do streaming all my life and die. And God called me to do streaming all my life. Then the last one is what he's enjoying today based on relationship or is purely skill. This is how much my skill or my contribution worth. So all that I'm enjoying skill acquisition. I have mastered my craft to extend that this is how much I deserve. Or all that is enjoying is based on relationship. That's the first question.
Okay.
It's lengthy, but sorry.
It's okay, but I think you explained it before you asked the question. Okay. So the first question is that, is it based on purely on relationship? At what point did he become aware of his purpose? Okay, continue. Question 2.
The second one talks about mentorship. He said something, when we are before mentors or when we meet our mentors, we should use, we should demonstrate our competence to their goal. And I want to ask, I am struggling myself and I'm figuring out what I thought this is all about. And I've seen somebody on a TV or I come to a program like this and you expect me to give what? Like, it's just a question. Is it a commitment I want to give you? Because I also want to figure out the way. I realize that the system is configured in such a way that if I cannot give benefit to you, you are not pulling me with you, like you not take me along with you. What would you benefit from me that cannot even construct a good English or cannot even like you wouldn't even want to bring me on board. But immediately you notice that, okay, this guy could be of a benefit to my enterprise. The thing is mentors supposed to discover people and say, no, this guy is going through this, but this guy's talent can be used for A, B, C, D. So can show you the way. Or, oh, this guy, I know him, he can do this. Oh, come. That's the second question.
Okay, so before you ask the third one, I can give you a clue for the second one. You see, there's always something you have to offer. It doesn't matter how low you are, there's something you have to offer. And usually, those who are already making it, they also need something that is usually not tangible. For example, somebody who is already rich, is already making it, doesn't need money, so you can't give money. But what you can give is service. Okay, what you can give is service. So, a person, to get access to the one who mentored me, I looked around the person and I realized, what can I do to access this person that will be relevant to the person? And I realized that this person is busy, but drives himself around. So I said, okay, what can I do? I can drive. I enjoy driving. So I offered. I didn't present my university degree or my experience in working in places. I just simply presented my ability to drive. And I offered it and said, okay, let me be your driver. without asking for anything in return. And so for about 2 years, close to 2 years, I was simply a driver, even though there were other things I could do. Do you get it? That will get you access to the one who is your mentor. Because at this point in time, the person is struggling to have a driver, but I have offered my services without pay. Do you get it? So that gives you access to the person, and then from there you pick the lessons.
What about if you don't have the key? If you don't have anything to offer?
No, there has to be something you have to offer.
All right, thank you very much.
Continue. No, but he will come and answer it anyway. I just wanted to.
Like, I'm satisfied. Like,
Yeah.
for instance, to the IT man. This AI craze, I don't know, sorry for my choice of way. Like, it's all about AI, we are making money. The thing is, I came to like this very conference because I was working somewhere and I heard one of your presenters on the radio say that somebody went to America to learn something about Tesla and he's now the Tesla something. So quickly I said, okay, now I have to attend this. All the things he outlined, these things are all only putting money into Jeff Bezos' pocket, Bill Gates' pocket, Tesla's pocket. The X, we have Twitter X, Tesla, Mark Zuckerberg's pocket, and they configure this. Look, 7,000. I'm coming with a question. Sorry, 7,000 Ghana cedis, 7,000 Ghana cedis, and $7,000. The reason is they have weakened our economy. So if I give you 7,000, you are seeing $7 being great. It's the same thing that they are paying you here just because the economy is porous. The question is this: in Africa, I bought rice yesterday, which is 65 cedis. I ate 65 cedis a day. What you introduced to us that Africa something, I don't know. It's like I didn't get like Africa. It mentioned something like about Africa. It mentioned something about Africa after the introduction. What are you doing? All this database. How many of these databases are in Africa? All the database, all your bios are in China, in America, in all these places. What is Africa doing? Like you yourself, what are we doing in Ho? That instead of me buying rice, 65 cedis, I can buy rice 20 cedis is reasonable. What is the market woman that the market woman would, not that the thing is so complex that the market woman will not be looking for somebody to come and take him to. What are you doing in Ho for the market woman to take up without any hesitate of any complexity? It can also use the technology. That is what we want to hear from Africa this time around. Rather than chasing all $7,000, the same thing they are paying here. The only difference is our economy is weak, it's porous. So what are we doing? As a young man in Ho, what are we doing? I want to hear that.
Okay, thank you very much. So please take note of that question. Let me take number 2 from there, number 3, and number 4.
Question is to all the 3 speakers, so I have like
in your life. I told you, I really got to know what I was supposed to do with my life after university. Sometimes, they say there's money there, so yeah, let me go and do it here. There's money. You go to a field, then you get a mentor. Then later I realize that, I want to try another one. They want to change another mentor. All I can tell you now is that take your time and be certain about your direction in life. Take your time. And when you take your time, you get one mentor and he helps you. There are times probably you can get 2 or 3 mentors. Maybe some don't have time to teach you in a particular field or a particular area. So you can have 2 or 3 people, but it's advised that you get one person who can get the time to make sure you advance in that field. Right. But where you make the mistake, come back and go for passion than interest. There's a fine difference between these two, but make sure you go for passion and build a career around it. That is how God has done it for all of us. Right. When you see most of these whites and all these guys, aside what they do when they are done, when they retire, now they want to do what they love. You understand? They want to do what they love, and that is what you need to build competence in.
That you get from doing your business in Ghana, in case you don't have the skill of, bringing your income from outside the Ghanaian economy, is to save or to put your money in some type of investment that the rates are good, that allows your money to work for you. Instead of going to buy tomatoes alone and coming to sell, our people who are local and don't have the advantage of technology can also understand some type of investment. For example, I discovered that if you are doing any business at all, you can save, assuming that your business, you are working hand to mouth, and you want to save. You can save over 60,000 Ghana cedis this year alone if you save this way. We have 365 days in a year. If you do the sum of 1 to 365, it's more than 60,000. So day 1, you save 1 cedi, day 2, 2 cedis, day 3, 3 cedis, day 4, 4 cedis. Today is what? Today is 25th. So if you have a business that is getting you income, you can decide to save 25 cedis today. Tomorrow, 26 cedis. The 1st of February will be the 32nd day. Then 32 cedis. Then you get to 300 cedis. There are people who have that kind of income who can do that. If you do that, by the time this year ends, you save 60,000 cedis, and it will shock you. So there are things that you can do and be financially responsible that helps you to shield yourself against all this up and down in the economy. So tech questions, Mr. Kichi, over to you.
All right, so for the first question that he asked, if you want to teach remotely, there are platforms that you can use. So you can use some of these online collaborative tools. You know, the online teaching stuff is quite complicated, but easy if you master the tools. Like you can get tools like Google Teams. It can help you to, no, Microsoft Teams, sorry. You can teach remotely with your students. You can use Zoom. The free account gives you 45 minutes free time. If the time elapses, you have to restart the meeting again. Or you can even use Google Meet. Google Meet can allow you to even teach as long as you want to actually teach. So, and then you'll have to learn how to teach online. You know, teaching in person is different from teaching online. So you have to practice how to deliver your lectures in person. But there are challenges. If you have to teach students who are having poor network connectivity, that can also affect the delivery of your lessons. So one thing you can also do is to send them the lecture notes ahead of time. Use tools like Google Classroom to schedule your assignment and everything, or even record the videos yourself, host the videos on YouTube, and then schedule them on the Google Classroom app. So when they go there to learn, they can take your tests to help you assess their understanding before you even meet them online to just discuss the outcome of their learning. So if you use the tools properly, you realize that it will even stream down your effort and help you to really maximize your teaching remotely. I hope that answers the question. All right. Then, so my brother who asked the question regarding whether all these things that we are doing is relevant to what we are doing here. Yes, it is. You know, some of the challenges we are facing is not coming from us. You know, there are systems in which we are living. There are policies that are governing what we are doing. So, for instance, there is no operating system that is developed by an African. We don't have any operating system that belongs to us. Is it Chrome? Is it Android? Is it Windows? Is it iOS? We have none of these. That is why we are telling you that if you are very young here and you are very passionate, you can start learning to build something that we don't have. That is why they are saying that the African economy is a gold mine. It's a huge industry that needs to be tapped into. We know of Amazon. We know of Alibaba.com. When this guy started Alibaba.com, internet was not there in China, but he believed that it's going to come because he read about it. The first time he launched the Alibaba.com, they took hours even before the first page loaded, right? But he was persistent and consistent and invested into what he believed in. And that is how come today everybody's buying from Alibaba.com, everybody's buying from Amazon, and, you know, Amazon just believed that people want to read, but they don't want to go and buy the books in a shop, so let me help them buy online, you know. So they decided to start an online platform that can help people buy books and read. And today it has become something very big, all right? So All the online platforms that we are promoting today are things that are built by people from other parts of the world. The Western world, the Chinese are building all this stuff for us. And that is because they have invested into it over the years. Now, the question is, do we want to reinvent everything that they have built, or we want to take advantage of what they have built? All right? So if you want to take advantage of it, then definitely, if I've built it for you, then I have to benefit from it. Okay? Now, it's up to our government to say that, okay, our data should remain in our country. That is not something that we can have control over. It's the government of the day that would say that, okay, all our Facebook data should remain in Ghana. It shouldn't go outside Ghana. It is a government that would say that our data should remain here in Ghana and not go out of Ghana. But you and I are on the ground, so we need to feed, we need to eat, we need to go to school, we need to get a place to sleep. So what do? These are the tools and the platforms that are available. And the world is changing, and there's nothing you and I can do about it. It's either we adapt or we are left behind, right? So that is what I'll tell you. We need to learn the tools, all right? Even China that is producing the DeepSeek, if you study what China is doing, China has produced VUV as opposed to Zoom, right? So they look at what the Americans are doing, they learn it, you can reverse engineer, learn what they have done, do the same thing and add your own to it. In school they'll tell you not to copy, but in the real world, we are copying. So how to copy is a skill, If you look at the DeepSeek, it's just like ChatGPT. The interface is just like ChatGPT. That means they have seen what they are doing and they have modeled it, and then they are adding their stuff to it. So the question is, what are we doing, all right? So somebody in this room here can decide to take that up as a lifelong learning and build something else that will be very useful in African base and go through all the challenges and fight them and then get something out of it. Then my brother who asked the question about the farmers app something, it's one thing for you to copy from outside and tailor it to what is necessary here. This is why we are advocating for digital skills. The digital platform or tools adoption in Ghana is very slow, not because the tools are not here. They are here, but you cannot use it. And even before you can use it, it will take a lot of work for you to really understand the basics to be able to interact with the tools. Now, things are changing very fast. You should be able to take an app and learn how to use the app on your own. You don't need to go to school again to learn how to use a new app that has come out. So the farmer in the farm who is farming, who doesn't know how to use a phone, if you send a mobile app to him, is he going to use it? So sometimes, start what you want to do, start manually. Go to them, get the data, explain to them, do it manually until they know you and they understand what you are offering. Then you can bring something that can automate what they are already doing. Are you getting it? So they are able to see the solution affecting their lives direct, not something abstract. You are just there and they just come and tell you that an app can measure data when you have no idea what data is, They prefer to talk to each other and do their stuff. Do you understand? And I know some of these things are school project works, and they are not really meant for you to take up as project and make money out of it. But if it's something you really wanted to do, you realize that you have to go to the grounds and really make it work. Then my sister also asked about an online platform or tools that she can use to sell. I think you asked the question. So you have a business online, right? Or which platform is the business on? Instagram. All right. So Instagram in itself is an online platform, okay? But one thing you can do is to learn how to use analytics. I don't know what you are doing as a business per se, but if you can learn how to use analytics, it can tell you where your traffic is coming from. So you can leverage on that information and push your products to where if I put a signboard here, people will pass by and they see it, they don't see it. You can't even tell. If you make an advert on radio, people may hear it, they don't hear.